bolt loose here. Here's a tip for you guys. If you are uncomfortable with everything you did down there and you want to just make sure there's nothing going on, no leaks, none of that stuff. Now that's important, because if you don't do that, all of that oil that's stuck in this oil filter housing will come out in a large mess. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be working on a 2025 Kia Sorento, and we are going to be doing an oil change on this car. Now you'll find out you'll need an oil change because you'll get a warning light or a message on your dash that tells you basically you have to do the oil change. The way you do that and get started is, first things first, always check your manual, understand what car you have so you understand what oil filter and oil change or oil you'll need. So in this situation here, I went ahead and popped the hood. We have the 2.5 GDI, and it is not a turbo. So what we are using for oil today, and this is per the car's manual, as well as you can see it on the oil cap, but it is 0W20 oil. Manual calls for just over 6 quarts. We got 6 quarts here. I got some extra oil I can toss in the car in case we need to. One other thing that we struggled with was getting the right oil filter. So we've confirmed that 245020 is the oil filter. Now whether you use the standard or extended life doesn't matter. Get the best deal you can, but this is the oil filter that's going to be going into that car. Now once you've gotten it secured and the front end lifted, you're gonna need a few tools. Gonna need a flathead screwdriver. Now there's some plastic tabs under there, socket and a ratchet, and then you're going to need an adjustable wrench or a larger socket, and then of course you'll need some Allen keys or these Allen key sockets, and I'll show you guys why that part is important. And make sure you guys watch this video all the way through. I'm gonna save you a big mess, otherwise you're gonna make a mistake that I think a lot of people make. So let's get started. Now, getting started underneath the car, as you can see here, Kia's done a pretty good job, and I think most cars do this, where they protect the bottom of the car with a plastic cover. Now the good news here is all the oil change components are underneath the car. So the oil filter will be here, the plug will be here, and you guys will see that here shortly. But we do have to do some work to get this plastic cover off. Now, first clue for us is you got this little oil thing here that tells you that this is probably where all the oil change stuff is going to go, which is awesome. We got a few bolts here that we're going to be taking off, and then of course, what would any oil change be without one of these awesome plastic things that almost always break when you try to take them off? So I'm going to go ahead and start with that guy, start taking this guy off, and once you have that out, go all the way around. You got a few more down here, and then get these bolts off. We'll drop this and see what the underside of this plastic cover looks like. And we have one more that is back here. Okay. Man, this one back here is super duper tight, contrasting to all the other ones, but it makes sense because this last one back here basically holds the whole thing in place. So if you can see here, you got this little wedge that goes under here, and then this basically back here just keeps it in there by making sure it cannot move back. So with that done, we'll take this plastic cover, get it out of the way, and here is what we are looking at. So to locate so here's the front of the car. Okay, go underneath the car. First things first, you have your oil filter housing here, and you have your drain plug right here. All right. Now here's the tip. Traditionally, when these guys are up top, what you normally do, and you guys have seen this on the other videos that I've done, the Jeep has that. You basically put a socket on here, you unscrew it, and you get the filter out, put it back in. Well, that's when the filter is, when this is facing the other way down. In this situation here, if you look closely, you have this little plug here. Now this plug serves as a drain plug for this entire oil filter housing before you remove the oil filter cap and replace the filter. Now that's important, because if you don't do that, all of that oil that's stuck in this oil filter housing will come out in a large mess, and you will soon find out why you should have used this plug here. So to get started, I'm actually going to start with this plug here, get all the oil out of the oil pan. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. Then I'm going to go ahead and get the oil out of this oil filter housing, plug it back up, and then remove this oil filter cap here, and then get the oil filter back in there. Now, one more thing I want to mention to you guys, and maybe I missed it when I was explaining all this, is the sizes of all of these bolts. So I went ahead and cracked this bolt. This is why it's leaking, but the oil pan drain plug is a 17 millimeter, and that's just, you know, obviously a regular socket. This plug here is a 8 millimeter. If you get one of these sockets, just get the 8 millimeter, go right in. And then of course for this large nut here, you can use this, not the best tool of course, but most people don't have this size socket, which is a 27 millimeter, and it'll go on nice and snug. But if you're doing this at home, you're careful, you can get away with using this, so you don't have to buy a massive socket. Bolt loose here. There's that oil. Let that drain, and then I will go ahead and focus on that guy up there. All right, so the oil is done draining back there. We are going to move on to this plug here and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so it comes out in a much less messy manner. Okay, so I let this drain. It stopped draining. It was just, there's very little oil coming out. Don't put the old plug back in. If you look at your oil filter box and all the contents, you should get a new plug in. Utilize this. I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil on this gasket here and tighten it while it's up in here. That way when I'm pulling the housing off and swapping the filter, I don't have to worry about getting this guy in there as well. This is already holding it up for me, and it's already in place for me to get this done in a timely fashion. All right, so the new plug's in. We'll go ahead and move the housing. Okay, and that's what it should look like with the oil filter in there. And we are going to go ahead and step over here. All right, now I mentioned before contents of your, I mentioned before contents of your oil filter box. This is what I was referring to. So you should have a gasket, these copper washers, drain plug, plastic drain, and a filter. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this filter, put a new gasket in, which seats down there, and it's kind of hard to see, but it seats down there. And then put the whole thing back together. I want to show you guys one other thing in case you're trying to figure out how to take this gasket out. If you look on this gasket, there is a tab which you'll be able to find in here. Now in this oil filter housing cap, the tab is right here, and it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it is right there. And all I did was I took a pick, kind of pushed into it, and then pried up on it. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you pry up on it and the gasket will unseat, and then you just pull it out the rest of the way, just like that. See it coming out? So I'll take that out, and then when I place it back in, I'll just put some oil on there, but just make sure that tab is out for the next time you do the oil change. So this is what the complete unit will look like. The filter will be in there. Should snap in when you put it in there. Got the gasket in there, and as mentioned before, it is the S45020 filter. If you're getting SDP, not quite sure what the other ones are. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in, put the plastic cover back on, and then we're gonna drop the car down, and I'll show you what to do from there. Now I got the car down, and I put 5 quarts into it already. I'm going to go ahead and put the last quart into the engine. You just simply pour the oil back into where the cap is, which is this guy here, right? It also tells you what kind of oil you're using, and then to check the oil level, you're going to use this guy here. Now here's a tip for you guys: if you are uncomfortable with everything you did down there, and you want to just make sure there's nothing going on, no leaks, none of that stuff, you can keep it on the jack stands, put oil into it, and just check under there for leaks before you put the plastic underbelly pan on. It's up to you. I went ahead and dropped it. I'm pretty comfortable with what I did under there. There's no leaks down there. I'm gonna go ahead and add this oil in now, and then the main thing you want to do after this is you want to let the car run for a little bit to circulate the oil. Remember, we opened up the oil filter housing, so when you're filling the oil here, it's not necessarily circulating through that entire system. So let the car run, and then we are going to go ahead and check the oil level when the car is on a flat surface, which is also the reason you don't want to do this whole thing, including checking the oil level while it's up on the jack stands, because obviously it'll give you an incorrect reading. All right, so now that you're finished with your oil change, the last step in this entire process is to go ahead and reset your oil change interval. So got the car here. I'm gonna show you guys where that is. Now Kia does this weird thing where it's got to be connected to a network or Kia Connect or whatever they call it, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys, and this is the message that I was talking about that comes up when you have to do your oil change. So in order to reset it, come over here to the service maintenance. Got this guy here, reset maintenance notification, and reset service maintenance interval. You hit yes. Now in this case here, it's probably not going to transfer, so the individuals I'm doing this for are going to have to call customer service and check the connection, and they'll reset it. But ultimately that is the last step, so you do not continue to get this message here. That concludes this video. I think it was a fairly simple job here for this car. Something you can certainly do at home. If this video helped you guys out in any way, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.